Okay, your final exam is right around the corner, so let's just cut to the chase. This is your high-speed, no-fluff review of all the concepts, definitions, and little details that are almost guaranteed to pop up on the test. My goal here is simple, to make sure you walk into that exam feeling totally confident and ready to crush it. Let's get started.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, anatomy. Then we'll get into the products we use every single day. After that, we'll cover client care and massage, and then get into the really technical stuff with the electric file. We're going to finish up strong talking about what makes a truly perfect nail structure. Let's dive right in.
First up, anatomy. I know, it can feel like a ton of stuff to memorize, but this is the bedrock for everything we do. Examiners love to test this stuff because it proves you know how to work safely and you actually know what you're doing.
All right, let's do a quick pop quiz. Just look at your own hand and leg right now. Can you point to your carpus? Do you know where your tibia is? Knowing the difference is absolutely non-negotiable for this exam.
Okay, let's lock these in your brain. The carpus, that's your wrist. The metacarpus, think M for middle, are those 5 long bones in your palm. And phalanges, that's easy, fingers and toes. Now for the leg, here's the trick. The tibia is on the big toe side, and it's the bigger of the 2 lower leg bones. That means the fibula is the smaller one next to it. You can bet you'll see a question asking you to identify these. Now for muscles. It really just boils down to one simple question. Can you control it or not? Striated or skeletal muscles are the ones you consciously control, like when you decide to wiggle your fingers. Non-striated or smooth muscles are the total opposite. They're involuntary, working automatically inside your organs. So just remember, striated is voluntary, non-striated is involuntary. That's a classic comparison question on the test.
Okay, let's zoom way into the nail itself. You have to know these 2 parts. The proximal nail fold, or PNF, that's simply the flap of skin that covers the matrix. And the matrix, right underneath it, well, that's the factory. It's the command center where all new nail plate cells are born. This is so important because if you damage the matrix, you can permanently damage nail growth.
All right, on to section 2, products. We've covered the body. Now let's talk about what we actually put on the nails. Knowing the chemistry inside those bottles is absolutely essential, not just for getting professional results, but for passing this exam.
You know, this is a question that trips people up all the time, creams versus oils, but it's actually super simple. Creams create a barrier on the surface to seal moisture in. Oils, on the other hand, are designed to penetrate and absorb into the nail plate itself, making it more flexible. So, one seals, the other absorbs. You got to get that right.
Nail resin. Listen, if there's one word you burn into your memory from this section, it is cyanoacrylate. Say it with me, cyanoacrylate. That's the chemical name for this super fast-acting adhesive. If you see that word on the exam, you know the answer is nail resin. It is the absolute backbone for any nail wrap service.
Now you'll hear the word viscosity. It's just a fancy word for thickness, and it's so key to how we use resins. Think about it. For your base layer, you want a thin, runny resin because it creates the best adhesion. But when you're building structure, like an apex, you need a nice thick resin. So the thickness totally dictates the resin's job.
So what do we use with that resin? Wraps. The 2 you're going to be asked about for sure are silk and fiberglass. Silk is a natural material, it has a really tight weave, and it becomes totally transparent, which is great for a natural look. Fiberglass is synthetic, it has a looser weave, and that lets the resin soak through really well, which seriously improves adhesion. Okay, here's a very specific technique you've got to know. The stress strip. It's just a tiny 1/8 inch piece of fabric that you place right across the stress area, you know, that weak spot on the nail. Its one and only job is to add reinforcement to stop a break before it starts, or to repair a crack that's already there.
Okay, moving right along to section 3, client care and massage. This is where we shift from the what to the who. And when it comes to your exam, trust me, this section is all about safety, safety, safety. They are huge on contraindications. This is a classic textbook safety question. The rule is incredibly simple. If a client tells you they have arthritis, you must be gentle. No vigorous, deep tissue massage. It can cause serious inflammation and pain. Always put the client's health before the technique.
You will almost certainly need to identify these 4 core movements, so let's run through them. Effleurage is that long gliding stroke. Petrissage is the kneading and squeezing motion. Tappetment is the rapid tapping, and friction is that deep circular pressure. You need to know the name and exactly what action it matches up with. Now, please don't get regular massage confused with reflexology. They are not the same thing. Reflexology isn't just about making someone feel relaxed. It's a very specific method of applying pressure to points on the hands and feet that are believed to connect to different organs and glands in the body. That's the key difference the examiner is looking for.
Okay, time to plug in and talk about the e-file. I know this topic can seem a little intimidating, but trust me, it just comes down to knowing your tools. Understanding your bits, what they're made of, and what they're for is absolutely crucial for the test.
Think of this slide as your e-file cheat sheet. Diamond bits work by chipping away at the product. Carbide bits have little grooves called flutes that actually shave the product off, which is way more efficient and creates less dust. Silicone bits are for polishing. And the biggest safety rule of all, sanding bands are one-time use only, and you never ever use them on the natural nail plate.
Now, beyond those basic bits, they might throw a few of these specialty ones at you. Just remember, the French fill bit is for carving out that perfect V for a backfill. Pedicure bits are cone-shaped, and they're great for smoothing calluses. And the jewelry bit, well, it does exactly what it sounds like. It drills a tiny hole in the free edge so you can hang a nail charm.
And here we are, the final section, nail structure. This is where everything we've talked about, the anatomy, the products, the technique, it all comes together. A perfect enhancement isn't just about a pretty color, it's about engineering. Proper structure is what creates strength and makes nails last.
The apex is, quite simply, everything. You have to know its location and its function. It's located right in the center of the nail, over the stress area. And its only job is to provide strength. Think of it like the keystone in a Roman arch. Without that high point, the nail is flat, it's weak, and it is guaranteed to break.
Okay, if you only memorize one single number from this entire review, make it this one, 35%. That is the ideal C-curve for a standard salon enhancement. That's the number they're looking for. Commit it to memory, 35%.
So why is that C-curve so important? It's not just about looking good, it is all about physics. That curve gives the nail structural integrity. Think about it. A flat bridge would collapse. A flat egg would shatter instantly. That curve distributes pressure evenly across the entire nail, making it incredibly strong. That is the principle you need to understand for your test.
So, as you head into your exam, just remember this one last thought. Structure is function. Understanding that is what separates a good nail tech from a truly great one. You've got all this information now. Review these key points, take a nice deep breath, and go in there and show them exactly what you know. You've got this. Good luck.